So, today I wanted to make a topic that's quite close to my heart. I've never discussed this in a professional capacity before, out publicly. My mother was actually a victim of domestic abuse, and her story is quite that of like heroism, because she was able to raise 3 kids, send us all to university, and absolutely smashed it, really. With the whole Meghan Markle situation and what a lot of people have been talking about, it got me thinking about controlling power in this situation. Whether she's lying or not, the subject or the concerns were raised about the controlling power of the extended family. You see a lot of influence from extended family in various cultures, not so much in the Western culture, but more in cultures such as the Asian culture. So from having experience of that, and also with my mother, what she's told me what she went through, luckily she'd taken us away from it at the time, just wanted to share some points about domestic abuse and how do you actually know you're in one. The reason I'm doing this is because I have a lot of female patients, and they come to me because they want to feel better about themselves. But often when I dig a little bit deeper and find out, well, what's the real reason, it's because they really don't feel good about themselves. Some of that is due to the people around them, their external environment, and that is could be a spouse, it could be family members. Today I'm going to talk about predominantly your partner and how you know if your partner is actually abusing and controlling you. So the topic for today is power and control. So I'm going to address the wheel of abuse. There are many different facets and categories to abuse. Some people, when they think of abuse, they think of physical, did he punch you in the face? So I'm going to talk about different labels, and then you can think about, okay, is this happening to me? And then identify with it. Because one of the most unfortunate things that I come across is that people don't even know that they're in a domestically abusive relationship. They will make excuses for their partners. He was tired. And when I say he, obviously abuse goes both ways. So it could be a female, it could be a male. In this case, I'll say he. So emotional abuse. What is emotional abuse? Putting you down, making you feel as if you're not worthy. So really finding a way to lower your self-esteem. And what that ends up achieving is that you feel so low about yourself. You don't feel that there's a way out. And even to a degree of, maybe I deserve this, maybe this is all I'm worth, maybe this is how it should be because I'm worthless. Let's have some examples. Making you feel guilty, calling you names. Oh, you look ugly today, or look how old you look, things like that. Playing mind games, making you feel just generally bad about yourself. That's emotional abuse, really attacking your emotions. And that is actually a lot more common than physical abuse. Now, the other one to look out for is using isolation. So a typical example, you start dating someone and you have a best friend. Suddenly your boyfriend says, you know what, she's a slag, I don't like her, I don't want you hanging out with her, she's a bad influence. And you're thinking, oh well, she did have a one night stand 15 years ago, maybe she is, or I don't want the hassle of rocking the boat, and maybe I should have loyalty to my man. So you suddenly find yourself losing your friends or being isolated from your friends. He's either turning your friends against you by manipulating them, or he's turning you against them. So if you are in a position where suddenly, before you was in this relationship that you're currently in, you had lots of friends, and now, one way or another, you've lost them, and it's always something to do with your partner, then that is something to really consider. Am I being socially isolated? And what does that do? How does an abuser get more power if they're isolating you? Well, think about it. They are able to treat you however they want, and your friends aren't there to say, how dare he speak to you like that? Don't stand for that, you're better than that. If you don't have that support network, suddenly you think it's normal. oh look, it was my fault, I deserve to be spoken to like that. But suddenly you tell someone that loves you, they're going to tell you straight. That's not normal. That's not how you allow someone to speak to you. So if you are being socially isolated, he's not letting you see your friends, your family, and he's making up some very good excuses for why not, then you need to consider, am I being isolated? How much control and power does he have over me? The less support structure you have around you, the more the abuser can control you. So make sure that you have your loved ones around you and have some transparency. If you think you've been treated unfairly, then ask the people that love you, what do you think to this? How would you react to this? And try and be objective, so give your side as well. Don't just try to play the victim and say, oh look, he's done this to me and done that for sympathy. If you do highlight to your partner that you feel you're being treated badly, you're being abused, another way to control you would be by minimizing it and making you feel stupid for even suggesting it. You know, when you threw the plate against the wall, that's abusive. That's using aggression and intimidation. Your partner might say a response typically like, what are you talking about? I just threw the plate because I was angry. Everyone does it anyway. Oh, you're overreacting. You're such a drama queen. And when you hear that, you think, oh my God, maybe I am a drama queen. But actually, no. Your partner doing something that makes you feel uncomfortable, it shouldn't be minimized because it's subjective. So anything, if he slams a door, some people might be okay with slamming doors because they slam doors. But if you feel threatened when your partner slams a door, then your partner should be saying, I'm sorry, I didn't realize it made you feel threatened. I don't want to make you feel threatened. If your concerns are being minimized and you're being made to feel stupid for even having these concerns, then you're being controlled by denial. He or she is denying responsibility and then actually putting responsibility on you, saying, you caused this, the spaghetti wasn't warm, or whatever the reason might be for him smashing the plate. Here's a fantastic one, and this can be quite cultural, is using male privilege. Oh, the women belong in the kitchen. It's not a man's job to do this. He can go out with his friends. You can't go out with yours. So look out for that as well, because if you want equality, then you have to strive for it, but you have to know what's acceptable, because people will only ever treat you the way you let them treat you. So if your partner is using male privilege, you have to say, well, this is not the way I want to have this partnership, and set your boundaries, because really, if we can take responsibility for the way we're being treated, then we have to think, why haven't I set the boundaries to make it clear that this is unacceptable? So look out for male privilege. If he's excusing his behavior for, I don't know, not coming back home at night, he's going on holidays with his mates and you're not allowed to go on holiday. He wants you to go and spend time with his family, but you're not allowed to go to see your family, and it's all to do with, well, this is how it is. This is I'm the man of the house. That's not right. So look out for that as well. And this can be a difficult one depending on your culture, but again, you're only going to be treated the way you allow others to treat you, so you are responsible. So another one is economy abuse. So what do we mean by economy abuse? Well, are you allowed to work? So in some households, I remember one of my aunties was not allowed to work. She wasn't allowed to go to college. So if you're being put in a position where you rely on your partner for money and they won't allow you to earn your own money, a typical example is, I actually remember someone saying they got caught cheating on their girlfriend, but they had bought them a Louis Vuitton bag, so she can't say anything. And because she'd accepted the Louis Vuitton bag, it was like, okay, you're being treated like crap, but he's now using his financial clout to make up for it. And if you're accepting that, then you're laying your own bed. So be very careful of that. If you're being treated badly, but then as a, sorry, I didn't mean that, here, look, here's a lovely purse. We've got to take responsibility for our own actions and the way we allow others to treat us. But look out for that as well as a pattern. Are they treating you badly intimidating you, being aggressive, and then afterwards using money? Or are they stopping you from your allowance? If you're running the house, that alone is a job in its own. So if you're then dependent and he takes away your financial support, if your partner is making you ask for money, so you might be running the house and you're entitled to the family money and the income. You're running the household, you're allowing your partner to go out and work because the house was being taken care of. So it's not that you're getting money for free, but if your partner is making you ask for the money, that again is another sign or indication. So look out for these key indicators, because we very easily make these excuses, but really when you look a bit deeper, it's good to label what's going on. So economy abuse. The next one is the one that we normally think of when we think of abuse, which is threats and intimidation. If your partner is threatening to hurt you if you don't do something, that's abuse. It doesn't matter whether he's done it or not. The fear that he's inflicting on you with violence, or the threat of hurting you or doing something to humiliate you, that's abuse. Making threats to leave you, making threats to commit suicide, again, that's control and power. Oh, if I die and if I hang myself, it's because of you. It's threatening to report you to welfare, making you drop charges. If he's, for example, been arrested for hurting you and then he's making you drop charges, again, that's another form of abuse. And if he's making you do illegal things, you're under a lot of control here and it's not on you. One that I do hear a lot of is when a patient of mine might say, I would leave him, but if it wasn't for the children. And I can relate to that, because my mother, if she had stayed with my father, if we think about the social learning theory by Bandura, it came out in the 60s, children normally are what their parents are. So if you're staying with an abusive partner because you think it's better for the children to have a father figure, then I can tell you it's probably not, more than likely not, because if you come from an abusive household, according to your social learning theory, you're going to learn that behavior and think it's normal. So you're actually almost creating more monsters that think abuse is normal and this is how we communicate and this is how we show love. My mother, she took us away from that environment, and so I have a lot of empathy. I have a lot more empathy towards women because of what my mother had gone through, and luckily I didn't have to see it. Yeah, if he's turning the children against you, he's making the children pick sides. He's saying to you that the children will be worse off if you leave him. How can you do this to the children? These are clear indicators that you're being abused, and he's using children for that abuse. If you are someone that is going through this, understand that you're not alone. A lot of people do go through this. Talk to somebody about it, seek some professional help, and always know that there's lots of help out there. Don't raise your standards. Don't tolerate someone treating you like this. And another thing I would say is ask yourself the question, would you let your younger sister or somebody who's vulnerable, who you care about, would you let them be treated the way you're being treated? Would you tolerate that kind of behavior towards someone that you love that's more vulnerable? And if that answer is no, then you already have the answer, and you need to now have more respect and love for yourself. And it can be difficult, I know that, because you might be in a situation where for years you're just being broken down to think, well, you don't deserve love and respect, you don't deserve to be treated good. But everyone does deserve love and respect, regardless. So if you are in that position, understand that you deserve love, you deserve respect, and you should put yourself first. Take all the necessary measures to get yourself out of this situation. Being in this industry, I do see a lot of these issues come up, and I see the patterns, and yet my patients are completely oblivious to it. So for me, it's important that I get this message out. I'm Deep from Deep Aesthetics. Have a great day.